I guess we'll just start it off. Just do a little check in your mics, maybe. Just test out the sound.
Testing. Check. Mic check.
Check. Hello.
Yeah, yours is really sensitive, and yours you might have to speak
A little bit
up
closer?
Yeah, a little bit closer.
Hey.
Yeah, there we go.
Check. There we go.
Perfect. All right, we're here with Iron Tusk, or at least two members. I know we're missing a member here, but if you want to just give a quick introduction of yourselves and where you come from and how your position in the band, what instrument you play, and all that, and we'll start from there.
Awesome. Thanks for having us. My name's Carlin Blackrabbit. I'm the drummer of Iron Tusk, and I've been in the band from the start. I grew up here in Siksika. I also play in another band called No More Moments, and yeah, I'm really happy to be here on air at the media, Siksika Media.
Hello, my name's Ty McGuire, guitarist and singer for Iron Tusk. I grew up here on the Siksika Nation as well. Joined Iron Tusk like 6 months into the whole, I don't know.
After the band was formed?
Foundation of the band, whatever. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know.
Nice. I guess we'll move on to the next question. It kind of follows through. Like, what's the background on Iron Tusk? Can you give it what kind of brought you guys together to form this kind of band?
Yeah, so the band was formed in 2016. We came together just wanting to play heavier music. Like, we played in punk and hardcore bands for the past 5 years prior. It was funny because myself, our old bass player, Buddy Wolflake, and our friend Joe Duckchief, we all played in the band. And we felt we needed a second guitar player, and Ty just happened to be hanging around, and we asked him, and it was funny because it's like myself, Buddy, and Ty, we started No More Moments together as a punk band. But then in this new project, it was kind of more heavy metal, more heavier grooves, just louder music. And yeah, that was in 2016. And you know, we put out a 2-song EP, and it just kind of got a lot of attention. Like, right off the bat, we got signed to a label out of Winnipeg called Transistor 66, and just shows just started flowing like 2017, 2018, like 2019, 2020, all the way up until COVID. Things were really busy for us. We got a lot of really good opportunities to open for bands that we really love, international bands, and you know, we spent a lot of time playing a lot of shows, promoting our music that we put out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that, Ty? How did you get introduced to the band? And
yeah, so prior to them asking me like to play, like Carlin said, we started No More Moments back in the day. Went pretty hard with that, and then I took a break, like I don't know how, like 5 year. I didn't touch music, didn't touch my guitar, nothing like that whatsoever. And I don't know, it just happened just to cross paths again. I found out that he's jamming with our old bass player, Buddy. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, maybe something will happen or whatever, I don't know. Cross paths, and then end up, hey, you want to come jam with us? And turned into this whole thing we got going right now, Play with, like you said, play with a bunch of, awesome bands like, Red Fane, open up for CKY. Who else did we?
Barn Burner. Astronoid. This band, they're called Effed Up. Like, it's a swear word, but they're called Effed Up, and they're like a noise rock band from Toronto.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So really amazing.
Played a lot of shows. Went to a bunch of different places as well, and it's been good. And it's only going to get better, I'd say.
Yeah.
With this new album, full album, we're actually going to be releasing on June 21st. Prior to this, it was just all like EPs, a single here or there. But this is our actual first album that's going to be coming out. So, a lot of hard work is put into this one.
For sure. I heard your last single, Disowned.
Yeah.
And you want to go into some detail about that? Because I know it's coming, like, the lyrics seem to be coming from a pretty vulnerable, emotional place.
Yeah. So this whole EP, prior to this, our former bass player, Buddy, had left, walked away, whatever, from the group. So, I went to Carlin and told him, this next set of songs, album, EP, whatever, it's gonna be all my, how do you say, all my pain, my anger, all my emotions, all the shit. Oh, sorry, all the stuff that,
You're good.
all the stuff that I've been going through this past couple of years. Relationships, loss of a family member, this and that. Like everything is going into this, this album, whatever. And Disowned is the one that went through some stuff like last year, 2022, and further on, like loss of a family member, and then relationship stuff. All of that just kind of culminated into this song, Disowned, right? The person who's supposed to be there to like have your side, have your back, comfort you and whatnot, turns on you and wants to bury you, wants to you're already in the grave, right? They want to finish by covering you, but you kind of just have this, like, you hear this song or some type, whatever you believe in, whatever type of hope you hold on to it, you hear it and it kind of just brings you back to life. You're crawling out of your grave, coming back to life to finding that hope again, I guess you could say. So that's pretty much, I guess, the foundation of what Disowned is about. So
No, 100%. I think that's a pretty raw and hard message, And I relate to that a bit too. I just finished listening to it and I was like, man, I don't know why I haven't gotten to these guys earlier. Man. I'm like, they're underrated, you know what I mean? At least for me. But kind of bouncing off of that, what has your journey been like as Indigenous artists in the music scene? Like, would you say it's like, I guess your perspective is unique, so I guess elaborate on that. Like, has the music scene been any different for you, or how have you been navigating that?
I can answer that.
Yeah.
So I've been, as soon as I was 18, I left the reserve, went to university. My first job was working in a live music venue. And I've kind of been involved in the music industry in different forms as a promoter, working production, sound, being a musician, And, a city like Calgary is tough because the reality is there's a lot of racism out there, a lot of discrimination, especially towards our people. And for us, when we set out to do music, it was never to be like, hey, we're an Indigenous band, we're a band from the reserve. We wanted to be included like every other band, right? So writing harder, booking show, like just going full force on music, right? So when we are out there, say playing a festival or opening for a band, I think we've established ourselves as just to like everyone else. Because what we've seen, and it's good and it's bad, but there's artists who are Indigenous. They kind of say, I'm an Indigenous band, and it almost puts you in the corner because all the shows you're going to get are Indigenous featured showcases, or you're just kind of like limiting yourself to one group, which is fine. I have a lot of friends who have done that. But with our band, we'll play with anyone. Doesn't matter your race, ethnicity, sexuality, whatever it is. We're open, and I think that's answers your question. Is we've been so open and out of our comfort zone that music has no barriers, music has no walls, and we've kind of had that philosophy since we started, and it's really, really paid off because with that, we've met some of the most amazing people in our lives, and we always acknowledge where we're from and who we are. We're proud Blackfoot people, lords of the plains, as they say.
Yes, sir.
But our view on it is we want to go beyond being Indigenous, go beyond international, national, whatever it is, and play spaces we've never really done. And a lot of the shows we've been playing have been diverse lineups. There's been metal bands, there's been indie rock bands, shoegaze bands, and it's really been a benefit to us because you learn from that kind of stuff, right? And it kind of, it's like in the metal community, it's really common too. Like metal, like a death metal band will only play with death metal bands, And for us, we've stepped out of that and like just kind of play with all kinds of bands, and it really makes the shows fun, and you get to meet all kinds of people.
No, I think that's awesome for sure. Like I think that's the way to do it too. You really putting the art first, right? Establishing yourself as artist first, right?
Yeah.
And and then representing your indigenous background. You know what I mean? Jumping off of that, what would you say to like the youth who are trying to pursue music as a creative outlet and getting it and breaking through, or even mustering up the courage to get into something like that?
That's a really awesome question to ask, because again, our story is we started playing together when we're 13. We're both 32 now. So, we've had all this time to learn. Like there was a point where we didn't even know our instruments, but it was just staying consistent. Like I remember me and him sitting in his garage down at his grandparents' house saying, "Oh, wouldn't it be awesome to play that stage or this stage?" And we're living that now, and it's just, you just gotta, like anything you want to do in life, sports, acting, film, production, just staying consistent, right? And it's not going to be an easy journey. Like we've had a lot of days where we, it almost, I don't want to say it felt like it wasn't worth it, but you get beaten down.
Yeah.
Right? And those kind of moments are learning lessons. So, when the good things happen, you always remember the bad things that happen, right? And especially us growing up in, growing up in North Camp, the Flats, just the environment we're in, like the people, like the realities of our community are very real, and each and every one of us are affected by like the social issues on our nation, and we see that. And our music, like if there's any young and aspiring musicians out there, my advice is just keep going, and everything's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time, but just stay consistent. Learn basic chords, learn covers, learn whatever it is. We live in a world where social media is so popular. One song can blow you up, so it's when we were coming up, we didn't have Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or anything like that. We just had to get our music out on a CD and give it out to whoever, or radio stations like this who would help promote us. But also like, just find people you like, find people you can get along with, and be open to criticism. I think playing in bands for so long, feelings get hurt, and as musicians, we're very vulnerable people, right? And I think if you have that relationship with your band members or whoever you're collaborating with, just be open to any sort of criticism, because when we were in the studio recording this last album, our producer, engineer Josh, offered a lot of input, and he didn't hold back on telling us if we did a part poorly or maybe change this in the song. Actually, if we didn't have him there, we wouldn't have got the outcome we wanted, and that's gonna come. So, we started off recording in like basement studios, and the last studio we recorded in, a lot of amazing musicians have recorded there. So it just a journey. Like, and I don't think about this as, I'm really happy you asked that question, because I don't think of my roots or how we started to where we are. It's really awesome. And like for us as a band, we'll never shy away from not remembering where we are. If we get asked to play the reserve, like we're playing Run as One at the end of the month, we'll always be down for that. If someone wants us to play their basement, we'll always be down for that. We're just like keeping open-minded to things and not really limiting ourselves on what we want to do or what we don't want to do. Obviously, we're going to stay away from any of the bad, like we're very supportive people, we're allies to the LGBTQ community, diversity, like we're very open to all that, and we want to make sure we're in environments that are safe and accommodating to people.
100%.
Yeah.
You want to add anything to that, Ty?
No, I think Carlin said it all.
Yeah, and just going back to your question about this album Disowned.
Yeah.
Like Ty had mentioned, it was like 2022 up until 2023. Like those were like obviously like as a band, probably like the hardest times of our lives, and like just like you mentioned, battling with all kinds of things happening, failed relationships, dealing with self-confidence, dealing with everything, like, the world is thrown at you. It really speaks on this new record. And, like the songs he wrote, the lyrics, I feel like they're gonna relate with a lot of people, like, like you had said, and even like the production of the album. Like we spent a lot of time on this album. I think we spent about 8 or 9 days on recording this. As in the past, we try to get it all done in a day. So like, production was a big thing. I spent like 3 days doing guitar or drums. He spent another 3 days doing, guitars, reamping. Like, our producer really pushed us to the limits to what we were used to, and it required a lot of patience because we just wanted to get it out. But then getting it tracked, getting it mixed, getting it mastered, and then the artwork. As you know, you see our the records I got for you.
What?
To give away to your loyal listeners.
No, what?
Our artwork is just as important as
That's awesome, guys.
Our music, like our new album. So this artwork was done by our friend Chris Zachko. He's a local artist in Calgary, and he also is a musician as well. Like, this vision, me and Ty and our bass player Will, we think of these concepts, and Chris has brought it to life, and he hand painted this. So
That's awesome, guys.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's
and
so sweet.
So this is a 12-inch record. It's a split with our friends.
Yeah.
Not No House, and then this is a 7-inch. So there's 3 songs on this.
Wow.
And this is the same thing. A lot of our themes are
We always try to bring it back to,
spiritual beings.
Oh, yeah, that's so hard.
So I don't want to get too much into that because
Like,
but this is like same thing. Our artwork is just as important as the music release. So every time we're dropping new music, we make sure that the artist captures what we're looking for.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome, guys, and that's for us to
give away. I got a
give
shirt
away.
too. Yeah.
Dang, I don't even want to give it away. I just want it, bro. Honestly, no, I'm kidding. But that's a bunch of great words there, and for sure, I think a lot of people. I'm excited for the new album, guys, for sure. Like, it sounds like it was an outlet for you guys for some tough times, and that's why I kind of think a lot of people are gonna resonate with this album coming up here. Continuing forward here, with this album, how do you want people to perceive you as a band and with your music?
I was thinking about this because I want us to be that band that's pushing the limit in terms of how you put out music. And so with us, a lot of, like, we've dropped one single and all the other songs are they all have their own story to tell. So, like, it's not just, like, there's slower songs, faster songs, melodic songs. For us, like, on this single, we collaborated with an Inuit throat singer named Nunu, and they're from way up north in I think Iqaluit or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so bringing in Nunu really helped us push our limit because throat singing, there's such a huge story to that. It's almost like collaborating like different cultures and traditions, right? And we weren't sure how it was gonna sound when we released it.
Yeah.
But the reception, like the live reception, has been amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sure.
Like on our music video, we played a sold out all ages show, and like everyone was throwing down at that show, and like it's just like
it's crazy.
when you go see a band, you're just used to 3 or 4 people on stage, just doing their thing. But whenever like our guest collaborator Nunu comes on stage, people go wild.
Yeah,
it's
something
different.
about it, just like
It's
people
just
haven't
raw.
seen it.
yeah,
Probably,
it just hits them and it's like, what the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I've heard about that, like, you guys got a traditional throat singer, and I was like, that's actually like cutting edge. Like, I don't think I've heard that in like this type of music before in my life, you know what I mean? So props to you guys for that, and props to the artist. What was her name again?
Nunu.
Nunu.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome.
They have like a really awesome last name that I don't want to butcher on
yeah,
here. But
I don't even want to attempt.
yeah.
We'll put it in the video or whatever, the full name, so
Right on.
people can, or the description, people can go check her out. Let's talk about some musical influence. Who inspired you guys to do what you're doing, or even a top 5 of some bands or artists that you really resonate with?
Okay, so with me, growing up, like I never ever listened to like punk. I never ever listened to like heavy metal. Like none of that. It's just all like I just like grew up like powwow, right? It wasn't until I met Carlin. He did the whole like Jack Black, right? Like what's that movie called?
The Nations D.
Yeah, no. That
School of Rock.
School of Rock.
Oh,
Like
School
he's
of
like,
Rock, yeah.
here's this. And I listened to like, things like the Misfits and then Queens of the Stone Age and like all these other bands. I'm like, what the heck? Like, where's this been, right?
Yeah.
Like, so fell all into that. But I think like my biggest influence, like for me, like in terms of like playing guitar, would probably be like David Gilmour from Pink Floyd. And then from there you got like, the Misfits, Doyle, his style and all that, and like just taking all these like Red Fane, like Mastodon, and all these different like influences, like, I just kind of like listen to them. I'm like, man, that sounds really cool. I want to try, like, kind of see if I can do that in a different way, right, on my guitar and whatnot. So, yeah, and, like with me, like, only ever went to one guitar lesson, right? It's just to learn how to tune and where the notes are on the guitar. And after that, I never went back, taught myself how to play. And that was just by like, all these other bands, like listening to them, what they do, figuring out chords and that. Like give me a guitar, tell me how to play this or that. I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play guitar.
Yeah.
I just know what I know how to play.
Yeah.
Is my songs. And
what was that process like? Was it just repetition?
Yeah, sit there, in the evenings and just just mess around and this sounds good. Okay, I'll keep that, and this and that. It's just a process. Like writing a song. You just have you're not writing a song for anybody else. You're writing a song for you. For what you like, for what you want. I always kind of struggled with that. Like, like, oh, I wonder if anybody will like this. I wonder if anybody would. They probably won't like this. But it's like, no, man. Like, I'm writing this song because I like it. Because I like this riff. I like this thing here, And, that's just been the process of this album, like all the riffs, like all the lyrics, it's all, it's because, I like it, right? And I hope that, people, like how Karan said, and in you, it resonates with people, like, so yeah. I don't know if that answers the question. I kind of went off and,
Before we get to your top 5 here,
Yep.
I have a quick question. Would you say your process for writing music as a group is more like natural, like you guys are just like riffing, or would you say it's more like this is what we want to achieve, let's do it this, or is it a mixture of both?
It comes to us. It just like, so one of the songs in the studio, it's called Orbital. I wrote the drums in the studio to that because he had a riff, he had an idea, and we tried different beats. And I just played till he liked it. So
yeah.
And this guy is so frustrated.
Yeah.
Man.
But it was you got to kind of push yourself to that limit, right? Because
Yeah.
I didn't just want to like just play an average beat that I've used on other songs. I wanted to just shake it up a little, and the only way to do that was, press and record and finding the right take. And when this guy and Josh were happy, I guess I was happy too. And then with other songs, they just, he builds the structure of the song, and I throw my drums on it, and then I don't know how he puts the lyrics together. Like, he just seems to just have a good way of doing that, and I think that's, that comes with the years of experience and knowledge, and it's really never really been a challenge for us. It's always just because we've been playing together so long, it just comes naturally, and I know we have some weird ideas for the next couple of songs we're gonna write. We really want to be that band that just, again, pushes the limit, but also like switches it up a little. So like these hard, heavy songs are on this release. We don't know what we're gonna do with this next release, but it's definitely gonna be different from what we're doing. And I think as a drummer, and the cool thing about like what I've gained from all of this too is I hear things in my head how I want it to sound, and it's cool to bring that to life, and like, being a drummer, you're always influenced by something, and like there's even times where I'll hear a beat in my head and I wake up and I have to like go to my phone and like sound it out, it's just trying to find influence out of everything.
No, that's actually really cool to hear, because as an artist myself, like I draw though, so it's a different medium for sure. Like I have like an image in my head, and I'm like, it is, you do get to a certain point as an artist, I think, through work that you do get like, you know, these ideas that come to me that you just have to get down on paper or whatever, like, you know what I mean? So that I think that's pretty rewarding, like what you said, just being able to get something out of your head and into reality. Like, I think that's probably one of the best feelings, like, you know what I mean, as an artist. Anyways, we can go back to your top 5 now.
Oh, my top 5. Yeah, well, you know, as you age, like, I used to just listen to heavy metal all day in high school and like just blasting break. You remember those like little cheap earbuds you can buy at Walmart? And like I remember going through those like constantly.
Like candy.
Yeah. But you know, obviously like System of a Down, Metallica, Mastodon, Slayer, you know, all that stuff.
Classics.
And then as you get older, you kind of go through like a weird indie rock phase and you discover different kinds of music. Actually, a band that really, really like has had an impact on my life is Alexis on Fire, and like their bands, me and this guy admired as young youth, seeing them at, you know, Vans Warped Tour, seeing them, they broke up and did like a last show and then they reunited. But the really cool thing about Alexis on Fire was their guitar player Wade filled in for this band called Cancer Bats, and I messaged Cancer Bats one day and said, hey, do you want to play the Reserve? And Cancer Bats, like, they're a really, like, popular band in the hardcore world. They cost a lot of money, and they played Siksika for free because they respected what we were doing. Wow. So Wade from Alexis on Fire was filling in on guitar. He said, listen, Alexis on Fire is playing Calgary in a couple months. I wanna give a bunch of tickets to your community. I want to bust these kids out. And that's what happened when they came to Calgary in 2020. I think we were able to get about 30, 40 kids from the Reserve to their concert. They did a meet and greet with Alexis on Fire, and this is at the Saddle Dome, and like everyone in that band was really cool to our kids. Took photos. I got to hang with the band. Like, these are your heroes. You know, they always say never meet your heroes, but I met my heroes. And the cool thing about today is these are my friends now. Like, these are people I communicate with regularly, and they just love to see what's happening in Siksika. So that's awesome. Alexis on Fire is like a top 5. And then, like, you know, I'm in a really weird, like, I like weird, like, droney, like, shoegaze, slow dive kind of music, like, really, really weird, like, I don't know, like, dark waves, like, post-punk kind of music. There's so many amazing bands out there right now. Like, there's a band called Soft Cult. They're from Toronto. I think I've heard of them. Yeah, they're amazing. They just dropped a new record. Yeah. There's a band from Vancouver. They're called Actors. I love them so much. And then there's a band from Edmonton. They're actually playing Calgary on Friday or Saturday. They're called Homefront. So good. And like those are friends of ours from Edmonton. Homefront.
What genre is that?
I'll show you a song from them after. It's like kind of like a mix of like,
how would you describe it?
I don't know, it's like Joy Division meets like hardcore. That's all I could say. Is
so like kind of like some
post punk, but like they've really blown up. Like they started over COVID. They dropped a record. That record blew up. Like, they're just doing tours, opening for whoever. They just got added to Riot Fest in Chicago. So like, it's so cool to see your friends succeed like that. And like that record, it's something I listen to like at least every other day, or whenever we're driving. Yeah. I always gotta blast them Homefront. They're just amazing people.
Yeah, I gotta check them out for sure, man. There's a lot of artists you guys mentioned. I'm gonna have to like rewind this back and be like, all right, this one. You know what I mean? But yeah, I guess I got a few more questions for you, and then we'll end this off here. But as an artist, you know, you go through some dry spells. You know, life just kind of hits you out of nowhere sometimes. What do you guys do outside of music to maybe like rejuvenate yourselves? Like, how do you do you have any like other creative outlets you're into, or how do you combat that dry season or whatever it may be?
I mean, in terms of self-care, you know, like, we're really huge like wrestling fans, so like, if you follow us on socials, you'll see us at like, and it's like we just get creative and like try to find the best tickets, like, because the day of the show tickets like drop, but we love going to wrestling shows. You know, just finding different cool places to eat and get coffee, like, you know, always trying to find the best cup of coffee. For myself, like, I do a lot of boxing. I think you're a boxer as well. Yes, I you know, just go for walks. And I actually I forgot to mention this, but actually I started a record label.
Really?
So I started releasing like vinyl. So just trying to find new bands, but I don't know. I feel like music's like every day in my life in some way, shape, or form. If I'm not playing it, I'm listening to it or researching it, or I like to do a lot of weird research. Like I like to know things about bands or people I love in the music world. I like to go beyond, like you ever see Nardwar's interviews?
Yeah.
I'm not that deep, but like I want.
I wish I did that for you guys. Just a really obscure fact that nobody knows about you.
Yeah, I love that stuff, and I just love discovering new music.
Yeah, you'd be like, who called you? Who did you call to get this information?
Yeah. But for myself, just trying to live a good life. Everything that gets thrown at you, and in my day-to-day job, I'm a council member for Siksika, and as you know, that comes with a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and just being able to use music as an outlet for any stress-related work things. It really balances everything out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with me, it's just like Carlin said, like wrestling, right? I really love lucha libre, man. I really want to go to Mexico, and watch a fight. But actually, there's, you got MexiFest coming up, so I'm gonna go check that out. And then we got event in Seminar, BC, which I'm gonna go check it out because there's a wrestler there, been following for years, and she's gonna be there, so I can finally just be like, oh my god, yeah, right. But I actually read a lot of novels. I sit there and that's just to like de-stress, like from especially the line of work, right? Security work and all that, dealing with people, the situations, it could get to you, but I just go home, relax, read a novel, try clear my head, and try to do like artistic stuff here and there, and that just seems to really bring me, kind of like center me. And when that happens, I just kind of, lyrics kind of start, or it's kind of weird how you said that. You have this image in your head. With me, it's the same with lyrics. Like it's like a movie, that's playing in your head, and you're trying to capture that and put it onto this piece of paper, and but that's always a fun challenge to do, and I'm not a sinner, that's I kind of had to got pushed to become the sinner, like by no means am I a good, I'm a sinner, but I've recently just started to try to do these exercises to help out with my voice and techniques on how to growl better or scream better, whatever, so all these stuff, I just kind of basically I just enjoy my peace and quiet, alone time. I'll be alone, just put on some shoegaze or heavy gaze or whatever, just to get that atmospheric, buzzing going on and whatever, and just just relax.
Yeah, I know.
And nothing better than that,
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
what's your guys' favorite shoegaze song right now? Let's hear it.
Well, obviously, like I was telling him, My Bloody Valentine sometimes is just a song I can listen to over and over. Like, if you ever have like those late night drives, you're going through downtown Calgary, or you're driving on the res, and the sun's going down, like the vibe is there. So like
you got a purple sunset going on.
Yeah. And like where I live on like the edge of Strathmore, so like I just have the best like view every night and every morning. So it's usually like My Bloody Valentine. That Sometimes song is just, and it's just a simple song, like just a riff and the singer, and it just makes you feel all kinds of emotions.
Yeah. So like I have this whole I have like 252 songs on my Spotify. Yeah, on my I like a whole playlist dedicated to like shoegaze, or like I call it mixed gaze. It's all over. But the song I always go back to is her name is Sylvain. I pronounce it as Morlect or something like that. That's her song, the name of the song anyways. But that song is just so like the riffs, like the lyrics and how it's all put together is like so amazing, and this other I always jam to whenever we cruise around, this artist named Dear Death. It's like Deftones, atmospheric kind of
Okay.
feel. Like a morbid kind of. I mean it.
Sounds like heavier.
Yeah, it's heavier
Yeah.
and it just sounds amazing. But good songs.
Honorable mention for me. Well, I'd say this is right in line with the other song I'd mentioned, but this band called Always. They're from Toronto, and we're so obsessed with that band because we've flown to Toronto to see them. We've drove to Seattle to see them. We've seen them in Calgary. They're like, it's spelled like ALVVAYS, and it's just like dream pop music. And like honestly, they just dropped a record recently, like last year.
Blue Rev,
and like the one record that me and this guy love so much is their second record, Antisocialites, and we're like, how are they gonna top Antisocialites? So Blue Rev, it comes out and the vibe's there because they got the producer from the Smashing Pumpkins to do it. So they're such a great band, and like again, I've showed Always to like the metalheads and my punk friends, and instantly they fall in love with this band. And like the cool thing about Always is they're from the maritime provinces, like Nova Scotia area. They moved to Toronto, but their drummer, or the guy that wrote all their drums, he's actually from Calgary. His name's Chris Dadge, and he's
really?
such a cool guy.
Yeah,
really
Actually,
cool
he's
guy.
someone we want to record with as well because he kind of has his hand in everything in Calgary. Like he's just plays in multiple projects. He's just the sweetest person ever, and just when we found out that he was part of the writing of those songs that we really love, we had to find him and like get to know him. But like there's a song called in Undertow. I honestly, when that song came out, I probably listened to it like 1,000 times. Like when you do your Spotify Wrapped at the end of
It's like
it's like, oh, you listen to this song 200 hours.
Yeah.
It's just like,
that's a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
I
But
get that too. Yeah.
I like, you get kind of called out for all the
bro,
the music you listen to, but that song is just, I don't know. Like that song came out like in 2017. And it's still like one of my top songs today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I think shoegaze like is in a renaissance right now. Like, because it's an older genre, like if I remember correctly, like but now it seems like it's booming, like bigger than it's ever been before. I think it's pretty exciting. I think that's about it for the time we got, but you guys want to plug your album? And
we got some
date?
shows to plug. So we're doing Sled Island Music and Arts Festival. That's taking place in Calgary, over like 25 venues, 150 bands. We're playing June 21st. We're hosting an Indigenous Peoples Day music showcase at the Ship and Anchor. It's a free show. It's us, our friends from Edmonton. They're called Chairman. I'll send you a link to Chairman. You'll really like them. Siksika's own Timberfang. We wanted them on. We curated this lineup. So, and then we have our homies from Toronto. They're like a doom metal band called Ethereal Tomb. So we're flying them out. And there's like a whole bunch of other musicians, like other bands playing Sled this year. There's bands we really love, like called Uncanny Valley. Same thing, just the wildest like post-punk band you'll ever see. Who else is playing Sled this year? That's on our list. Tebby and the Heavy.
Tebby.
Same thing. Shoegaze. We played with them in Edmonton.
Yeah,
amazing band. Just wild and. Just look, and like the cool thing about Sled is you go out and you find bands you've never heard of before, and like they had that festival is so huge.
When is this year's festival?
A Sled Island.
When is it?
It starts next Wednesday, goes right till Sunday.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, so it's like
I gotta go there.
It's
man.
like every like downtown's gonna be happening.
yeah.
Oh, I'm excited, man.
After that we have Run as One here at the Nation, June 28th, and like we're really excited to play. Like. Putting that lineup together as part of the planning committee. There's so many amazing bands playing. I think Tia Wood is playing. I think she got signed to like Sony Music recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Making
And like
big moves.
And Misha and the Spanks are playing. They're friends of ours. Ty also plays in another band called Band 146.
Yeah, so Band 146.
I think I'm doing another
yeah.
interview with you guys
I'll
too.
see you next time.
They're super cool, like grunge, like really
kind
cool.
of like
heavy.
90s grunge.
Oh,
like
good
really
stuff.
awesome,
Yeah.
heavy stuff. And so we're stoked to play Run as One. It's a free event down at the Powwow grounds during the powwow, so we're excited for that. The following, we're going to Canmore for Canmore.
Amp Fest.
It's like a metal and punk festival at the Art Space, July 6th.
I'm checking all of them out.
And then we got what else we got?
Are we going to Salmo, BC?
Yeah, we're playing like some festival in BC called the Hogkegger. It's just like in the middle of the trees with a bunch of heavy bands and campfires. And then what else we got?
Moments Fest.
Moments
August
Fest.
30th.
Oh yeah, we host a festival here in Siksika called Moments Fest, and I actually about to announce the headliner. It's one of my favorite bands, and I'll tell you who it is after. But
Ooh, I'm excited.
And
Yeah,
the
and
last one, September 26th, Massive Fest,
Massive
Nelson,
Fest.
BC.
that hasn't been announced yet, but we'll announce it here. And it's same
You
thing.
can cut
It's,
that out if
it's
you
in
want
it's
to.
in Nelson, BC, and this like really intense band called Ken Mode's headlining. So I'm really excited to finally play.
Ken Mose?
Yeah,
Oh, no way.
yeah. So and then like Massive Fest, it's like in like Nelson, BC is such an amazing place because it's like a village of musicians, all kind of DJs, rappers, metalheads, punks. So we're really excited for that. I think we might have some offers to open for some bigger bands in the fall, but right now like our goal is get this record out, get it in people's ears, and then like we'd love to go. I think we're gonna try go to Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, like hit those real big big market cities as well. Yeah.
Good stuff. It sounds like you guys are pretty busy then, man. Congrats, man.
And
You're definitely an inspiration for a lot of people here, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then we're still planning our CD release, right?
Yeah,
No,
we're gonna be getting vinyl pressed, and it's quite a process to get vinyl, so it takes about 2 to 3 months. So we'll probably do like a full record release show, probably in the fall as well. And we haven't decided where we're gonna do it, but it's probably gonna be at Dickens Pub or the Palomino. But
yeah.
and like I said, we play at places where we feel safe and welcome. The Palomino, they've taken care of us right from the
for
start.
sure.
Dickens, same thing, taking care of us. People we love.
Yeah.
We know the owners firsthand, and there's such like this whole renaissance that's happening with shoegaze. There's such like the all ages scene in Calgary is just on fire
Man,
right now.
yeah,
Like
for sure, man.
these kids are showing up to shows on weeknights, weekdays, whenever, and they buy merch. They just love the music. They're participating.
And they're just packing out the whole venue. Like
It's just
it's
it's so
crazy,
amazing to see.
Like they really want to come out and listen to some music, right?
Yeah. They just love it.
Especially when it's local artists, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's something different when you like firsthand are like, oh, these are like from my area, like
Yeah.
you're representing us kind of thing. Like it's pretty cool.
What's really awesome too, going back to the whole, our being indigenous and everything. What I've learned, like what I've been seeing over the last couple of years, is there's more indigenous folks coming out to shows who come up to us like, hey, I'm from this tribe. Like we played a festival this past weekend, just outside of Edmonton, and the one guy was he, Apache or something?
Yeah,
Like that? So this band
he's
from North
Apache,
Carolina. He's
yeah.
like, hey, it's so cool to see other natives here. Like so that's the cool thing too. Is like
he came up to us and just like, hey bro, I just want to say,
Say
good to
how.
see you. And
Yeah.
I'm Apache. I'm like, oh hey man, I'm Blackfoot. He's like, oh what?
we're like welcome to Blackfoot territory,
Good stuff.
And and there's all a lot of folks who who may not look indigenous, but they
Yeah,
have the
yeah.
ancestry, and
Mhm.
that's been really awesome to see. So
Yeah.
it's really good to see so many more indigenous folks
Yeah.
coming out. Like at the show we hosted last year at Sled Island, 75% of the crowd were all indigenous, and you don't see that.
No,
So
no.
I think getting more folks out to shows is it's really huge for us.
Gotta go check that out,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I'll send you the flyer and everything.
Yes, sir. I
Yeah.
need that. But yeah, thanks for coming on and doing a breakdown and getting to know you guys and whatnot. It's been great having you here, and I'll definitely do a little giveaway for your little merch here we got here. I'm excited for the album,
You
man.
can say
Oh,
you
yeah.
lost it and take it.
Yeah, I'm like, yo,
You can call
eyeballing it, yeah.
yourself when you call in or whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, I need that a little bit. Gotta make a fake voice changer and be like, yeah, I want that.
But yeah, no, thank you for having us. This
Yeah,
is real
no
awesome.
problem,
It's always cool to come home and do this kind of stuff, especially, these are where our roots are. This is
that's
like,
where we began,
that's
right?
where we grew up. And like, it's cool to see this radio station up and running still, and the long history it has. And I'm sure the archives and everything, like this place is, it's really special to our community. And it's cool that you have a solid team here that are leading that charge, and even like just giving us an opportunity to come on air. Like
For sure.
we're really grateful for that. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Yes,
I know
sir.
we're not like we're kind of obscure with our music, but it's cool that we're getting a little bit of spotlight. Like I know on our reserve, powwow music's very popular, country music,
Country, yeah.
hip hop, which is awesome. We love
Yeah.
all that stuff
Yeah.
too. But it's cool to be given space and time to just kind of, speak to what we do and what we're all about.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you out here, man.
Awesome.
And once again, thanks for coming out, man.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. And that was Iron Tusk.
Hey.
Yes, sir.